is that no matter how much older and how much wiser we get through our life experiences, as a mother, and I know you'll relate, there's so many things our kids have taught us.
Yes.
That we're like,
every day.
wow, okay, yeah, right. And so I got goosebumps.
Thank you for doing this with me, and thank you for being on Proudly Dufferin. Can you tell our audience who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. So my name is Stacey Tarrant. I am a brand strategist, photographer, a small business owner for a gift company, and my most exciting new title is an upcoming children's book author.
That's interesting. So tell me more about the book.
Well, I'll try and make a really long story short. Back in August, I was on vacation with my family, and it was day 3 of day 10 on our vacation, and I was taking a walk along the beach, and out of nowhere, this little puppy bounded across my path and fell at my feet, and I was in awe of her cuteness and her big ears, and had that sweet moment, which immediately turned to a sense of doom because I realized that she was a little stray homeless puppy, and there was this pulling obligation that I needed to do something about it. So that evening I went back to my hotel room, and much to my dismay, I had to leave her there on the beach because, trust me, I tried to think about how I could, smuggle her in the room, but it was obvious that she had mites and fleas and a pot belly, which usually is an indication of worms. So I knew that I couldn't take her in. But that night I posted on Facebook, and 2 women from 2 separate rescue groups on the island of Jamaica reached out to me from my post and said, "We can help you." So I thought, wonderful. The one lady actually was an ex-Canadian resident who now is retired in Jamaica, and she said, "I'm 5 minutes away from you. I can pick her up and get her to the Montego Bay Animal Haven," which was about 2 hours away. And it would be about $30, which I thought, yeah, no problem.
Reasonable.
Absolutely. But when I connected with the Haven, what I didn't realize is all the other expenses that were to come. So there would be a separate flight for her because we were flying WestJet, and WestJet doesn't fly dogs. She needed to go to the government vet and get what's the equivalent of a human passport, but a doggy passport, get treated, make sure she was safe to fly. There's like a whole gamut of expenses there. And when I asked the question, it was going to be about $2,000 US.
Wow.
So obviously I didn't have that money on me, and nor did I have an extra $2K lying around. And this is where the story starts to take hold. I know that I know a lot of good people. I know a lot of good people that are dog lovers, and I thought this is my time to try and do the right thing and put my heart where I felt it needed to go. And so I did a GoFundMe and shared it on social media, and within 48 hours I had $2,000 US raised because so many people came together to save this dog. So the plan is that I'd get her to Canada and then we'd rehome her, because at the time I already had 3 dogs and was not looking to add to my family. But the amazing and incredible power of community coming together for a common cause is what has been the foundation of this children's book. And so we did name her Marley after Bob Marley's music of the power of one love, unity, what happens to get, what happens when we do something together as community. And so we got Marley home, and during that week that we were still on vacation, she was at the Haven. And because I was collecting everybody's money, I was scared. I don't know these people. I was worried about scams. I communicated from everybody that had donated that if for some reason this doesn't go through, I will either refund your money back or I will donate to a rescue of your choice. But I also felt that it was very important to have the power of transparency. So I set up some social media pages on both Instagram and Facebook to update people along the way of her journey. And at the Haven, thankfully, they sent me photos every single day so that I felt better, and then I could also communicate that to the audience. And what happened was extremely powerful. A little community grew from Canada, Jamaica, US. I think we have some UK people. I don't even know how people have found us. And so when I would post the Marley update so that everyone could feel assured that everything was moving forward okay, a rash of ideas came in, and it was actually from the community that somebody said, you need to write a children's book about this. And the more I thought about it, because I celebrating the, young age of 50 this year, that I thought, you know what a legacy to leave behind is I don't want this to be a rescue story. I don't want this to be about me. As much as Marley is the main character, and trust me, she delivers main character energy every single day, I really wanted this foundation to be about what happens when community comes together for a common cause. And because I'm so grateful for the rescue groups that do this work every day on a shoestring budget, like we think we've got it bad in Canada, it's 100 times worse there. I'd like to donate a portion of proceeds in perpetuity to both the Negril Spay and Neuter Clinic as well as the Montego Animal Haven for the work that they do, because they need the help. And I think also this creates great exposure that something like this can be done. Hey, if I can do it, so can somebody else.
Of course.
Although I have heard that it is, in their eyes, remarkable that a puppy's gone from the beach to another country in 1 week. Like, all the stars just aligned. So I can't help but feel like this was meant to be.
Yeah.
So when we got her home, I say this tongue in cheek because I don't mean it, but I felt the pressure that people were starting to say, you need to keep her. And we're like, well, we don't want another dog.
Yeah.
But of course, through this whole process, we obviously were becoming attached. And we made the decision to add her to our family. And again, you sometimes wonder about the power of the universe, because our oldest puppy, he was 14, he died. And so now we're back to the 3-dog limit. But yes, so she's a welcome addition to our family, and I really want to communicate this message to the world, because I think it's extremely powerful what happens when we when our hearts align together, and what we can accomplish when we act, just take action.
That's wonderful. And I feel Marley kind of invited you to get him to your world.
Absolutely. Everyone says that she found us. So I think that there's lots of messages to take away from this, but one of the things that I think I've really discovered about this through myself is that I didn't know that an animal could show you so much gratitude. I've always had dogs from breeders, and I love my babies, but there is something different about a rescue dog. And having been through that experience, I now understand what all the hype's about, and so proud to be a rescue dog mom now.
And I feel so wonderful that you did such a wonderful job. And
thank you.
you so much for doing that and showing the world what you can do, because oftentimes you would say, okay, well, I can't do it because I don't have an extra $2,000 lying around.
Well, and I will share something that, one of these days my husband probably will deny, but that day that we found her on the beach, I said to him, can we take her home? Like, well, we won't keep her, but can I just get her home? And he said, oh, yeah. I think he underestimated me.
Yeah.
So the next morning, when I had done all the stuff on my phone connecting with these two rescue groups, we woke up and I said, okay, so it's happening. And he's like, what? We don't need another dog. Oh, and he was kind of freaking out. And I said, well, just remember, we're not keeping her. Although he was the first one to say we need to keep her in the end.
Yeah.
But I think, again, it's, when there's a will, there's a way. And especially when you follow your heart and it's about doing something good in the world. Again, this was never about me wanting another dog. It was about, I just can't leave her to die. So I didn't. And it really, that's kind of the bottom line. So I've got the book started. I'm writing it from Marley's voice, because I think that will be more powerful with that children's audience. Yeah. What I didn't realize is how expensive it is to produce a book. Probably a good thing I went into it blindly, because it does feel overwhelming at times. I have a background in marketing and background in fundraising, and know that it needs to be done right in order for me to actually have enough proceeds to donate to the rescue organizations. So this is about a $20,000 investment that I didn't see coming. I've paid out of pocket to get the cover done, because in order to sell a concept, we also need to show something. And so it's opportunities like this that I love to be able to tell her story, because, you know, people might see me walking her along the road and think she's an out of control beach dog, because we're working on leash manners, but they don't know the story behind it, and stories are extremely powerful. So thank you for this opportunity and helping me bring her story to light. And I'm hoping by August, September, I have the book in hand.
Wonderful, and I'm so glad you agreed to do this. So, how are you planning to fund for the children's book?
So, much to my dismay, I am going to run a Kickstarter, and that actually came as a suggestion from a new friend of mine that has written 2 children's books, because I was asking her, how did you do it? And she said, I did a Kickstarter. And she said, Stacey, because you're, you know, also including a charitable act in this, the people that are aligned with this message and those values will connect with you. So I feel like it's funny because I have had no problem fundraising for all kinds of things, but I have that, like any entrepreneur, it's taking that first step. But I've come this far, so I can't stop now. And I do really feel like anytime I've told anybody about the story, they're like, sign me up, I'll take a couple books. So I know it will sell. It's just one of the challenges about being a small business entrepreneur is it's scary to take risk. But I think the biggest risk was what I've already done. And you know what? You've got to just trust in your path and trust in the way forward. So I will be launching the Kickstarter soon.
Perfect. So yes, you give me the link, and do you have a link if our
I
audience
do.
wants to?
Yes, I will. I have it almost set up. I was just waiting for the book cover to be done, which is now done. And unfortunately, I had some signage coming in, and it's being delivered today, but didn't make it in time. But I did make a bookmark that I'm going to give to your daughter. So
thank you.
this, and we'll, you know, be able to show a bigger picture afterwards, but there is a little story behind this. So you can see there's the Jamaican beach scene, a little airplane with some hearts on it. And this is actually our house. Most people wouldn't know that it is actually our house.
Wonderful.
So it's showing the transition, and the book is going to be titled One Love, One Dog, Marley's Incredible Journey.
Wonderful, and you're wearing a T-shirt.
Yes, yep. And actually, so this will be her on the book. So yeah, I know your daughter's an avid reader, so that's my gift to you today to take home.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And are you gonna be selling the merchandise as well?
So from what I've understand, because I've never done a Kickstarter, I mean, there's lots of things I've never done in life, and you just figure it out.
You know.
There is little tiers of, I guess, donations that people can, for lack of a better word, sponsor you for. So if you pledge X amount of dollars, you get a T-shirt with it, so that there's some, I guess, some incentive to give back as well. So there will be some merchandise. I've got the bookmarks, I've got T-shirts, I've got these really cute pencil cases, which I thought would be great for kids. Because one of the things that I know about being a small business owner is that we can put products and things into the world, but unless people see value in them, it doesn't matter. So I was trying to think of items that, you know, people would love, and hopefully with the book release this fall, it'll be a nice transition into the holiday season, so that people that are looking for those kinds of gifts, you know, may consider giving back twice, because this will give back to rescue groups as well.
Definitely. And can you tell people more about the book and the story, and what is the hidden message that you're trying to give to the kids?
Yes. So I think there's multiple layers in there, but from a kid's perspective, it will be about believing in yourself. Is that was kind of my message.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
Because you believed in yourself that you can do it and you can fly him.
I had 50 million reasons why this wasn't going to work. And one of them was when I got back to the hotel room, the first Google search I did was they have to be quarantined for, I don't know, it was like 45 days. Turns out it was the wrong information, but we assume we read it on Google. It must be true. But I didn't let all those barriers stop me. So I think there's the message of that for kids. I think for children, it's about having love and respect for every being on earth. And not everybody can do what I did. Not everybody might have those connections. Not everybody would be able to strategize that. I get that, but sometimes it's about just having the awareness that, hey, I can post this puppy on Facebook and maybe somebody else can help, or
Yeah.
maybe we can get her to a rescue group, because I mean, literally she was just fending for herself. The vet estimates she was 10 weeks old. I mean, she wouldn't have made it. She's, especially now that we see her at home, we're like, how would you have lived in the wild? Because she's quite a pampered princess.
That's right. And you were just the bridge. You thought of the idea, well, okay, I will do GoFundMe, and you got the money.
Yeah.
And then you were like, okay, well, now that I have the money, I have the obligation to do something for her.
And I think there's also a message in there too. It's not going to be spelled out in the book, but I think I will, do some little breakaways in, later down the road on the website about how parents can talk to their children about the messages in the book, so that it's not just a cute story of a beach puppy that is now living in a happy home. I'd love to put some talking points in there too, because one of the other messages is about transparency. And so when we're trying to raise money for anything, it's about being transparent with those people that have helped us along the way to show us we're really doing what we're said we're going to be doing. I think there's that message. I think there's also the message of, if you're passionate about something, whether it's rescuing a puppy, fundraising for your local food bank or women's shelter, that if you're passionate about it, chances are there's probably other people that are out there. And sometimes it's just about stepping up and saying, this is what I'd like to do. Is anyone around to help? And it's amazing how your army shows up when you follow your heart. So I think there's several messages that are going to be in that book. Some that will, probably even evolve once I see it in the pages. But again, I literally just thought of this idea right now that I'd love to have a page on my website about these talking points so that parents can get a little bit more out of this book and make these teachable moments.
Right. And if you can probably do it on a video, put it on social media, people will be able to get, those messages.
You know what we'll do? We'll get your daughter. I'd love to have a conversation with the minds of young people, because sometimes they see things we don't even see.
And you know what? You are writing the book from your perspective, and it would be very interesting to see what the kids interpret that story as, or what did they learn out of it.
Absolutely, because I bet you they'll teach us something too. And I think that's the thing about being human, is that no matter how much older and how much wiser we get through our life experiences, as a mother, and I know you'll relate, there's so many things our kids have taught us.
Yes.
That we're like,
every day.
Wow, okay, yeah, right. And so I got goosebumps. This book is a medium of good things. It's not about the dog. It's not about me. And I cannot wait to bring it to the world. And this is what I'm passionate about. So much so that sometimes I even get emotional about it, because I feel fortunate, because I guess I'm a natural born storyteller. And when I say I see opportunity, it's not that I'm opportunistic. I see opportunity to make meaning out of events. And as much as I was in the moment about trying to save this dog and rehome her, when I got home, what overwhelmed me wasn't the fact that I got this dog from one country to another, although that was a little bit. I still have those moments.
It was a lot.
It's kind of shocking. Like, I never thought this was going to be part of my life story. But what overwhelmed me was the hearts of all the people that gave. And some of the GoFundMe donors, I know them because they're on my Facebook, but it shocked me who were the first few people to step up. And I'm thinking, wow, thank you for trusting me, because you don't even know me that well.
That's the power of social media.
Yeah, you know what? It can be fantastic. We hear so many negative things about it, but you look for the bad, you'll find the bad. You look for the good, you'll find the good.
Yes, and I think one of the messages is that you get what you're looking for.
1,000,000%.
Yes, you took a leap of faith by setting up that GoFundMe page, and I think the universe, the stars got aligned.
It rewarded her, because at the end of the day, she's the one who won. And I think about it a lot when I'm looking at her in a playful moment or when she's sleeping, thinking, it sounds crazy, but I do feel like she knows how lucky she is, because there's just a different dog there than any other dogs I've ever owned, that she shows her gratitude. And there's a part of me that thinks this all happened for a reason, for me to bring this message to the world.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I'm listening, because it's been really powerful and it's helped me connect with so many incredible people, even like yourself.
Well, I'm glad you went on that vacation because, see, so many good things came out of it.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is, most people bring home a seashell. No, I bring home
Bring home a dog. Yeah, you don't go to a vacation.
next vacation, it's blinders. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. You don't.
life happens as it happens.
Yeah, you don't go to a vacation thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna bring home a puppy today.
Never.
Never.
And still can't even believe it happened. But I'm very grateful, and I can't wait to see where this goes. It was cute. I ran into somebody. It was like an acquaintance in the pet food aisle at a local store. And we ended up telling the story, and there was a mother and an older daughter, like an adult daughter, and they were so passionate about, after my spiel of what happened, they're like, we need to get you on the Drew Barrymore show. And I'm thinking, like, the amount of excitement that comes from everybody else helps fuel mine, because sometimes I think I even have forgotten how powerful the message is. And so it's that kind of enthusiasm and excitement and support that has made me realize that I'm doing the right thing by embarking on this book journey, because it would just be a lot easier for me to focus on my other businesses. But I know in my heart of hearts, I can't let it go.
Yeah. As humans, we have a social obligation to teach the little ones, which is what you are doing.
Yeah, and let me tell you, after COVID, I'd never want to be a teacher. So this is my way of being able to give that back in the way that I know how to do it best. So yes, I'm really grateful. So definitely more information will come out very soon. I need to conquer my fears and just get going with it, because I, again, know that there's many more conversations to come from this one single event.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. And I can hear that passion in your voice. And thank you so much for sharing the story on the podcast, because I'm sure many people would relate to it and would want to help as well.
Well, and I think also, when you've got a compassionate heart, it's stories like this that renew our faith in humanity.
That's right.
And any dog lover knows that there's so much more than a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so other than writing a book, what else do you do?
Well, that's a loaded question.
Yes.